with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
A jolly good morning to you. Welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And normally we have great difficulty in finding one guest. Today, guess what? We got three, a house full. And so Bandula Jayasekara has gallantly stepped aside in favor of Rona Hettiarachchi, the convener of the March 12th movement, which we all seem to have forgotten about. Good morning, Rona.
Good morning.
And we also have a member of parliament. You obviously voted him in, Dilum Amunagama. Good morning to you, Dilum. And
good morning to you.
Thank you for being brave enough to come here.
You're welcome.
And we also have trade unionist, former chairman of the Bankers Ceylon, Rusri Pala Tenakun. Good morning, Mr. Rusri Pala.
Good morning, Faraz.
March the 12th movement. Have the people forgotten that they were supposed to be electing people, sober, liberal-minded persons, to act as their representatives in parliament?
I think for us that is the problem now which we are facing even in the last couple of days, which we have noticed in the parliament. The political parties as well as the citizens of the country failed to select, I'm not saying the entire parliament, but basically they have failed to select the good people, the proper people to represent the people of the country.
Indeed. Let's pose this question to Mr. Rusri Pala. What did you make out of this fracas that was in Parliament?
I look at it differently. The reason for such a provocation to comments in Parliament has to be looked into. You see, when a question is asked, and if that question is treated trivially by the people in responsible positions, I think that is the cause of all this. And with regard to the selection and the election by the people, you see, again the blame goes to the leaders of the parties who give nomination to such people.
Absolutely. You've hit the nail right on its head. Well done. Now we'll ask Dilum Amunagama here. First of all, were you part of the fight?
No,
You weren't.
I wasn't.
You were on your way into Parliament.
I was not in Parliament. I was on my way from Kandy to Colombo, but I must tell you that it was a very unfortunate incident.
Why unfortunate? I mean, unfortunate because of the breakdown in decency and standards.
Yeah, first of all, I have to accept that and say that this incident was totally unnecessary and it should not have happened. But I have to also agree with Mr. Suripala when he said about this, the question and how it was answered. I think the report will be out today, so we are hoping that the Speaker will take necessary action with regards.
So in this case, what happened was that a question on former President Rajapaksa's security detail was being posed, and the Prime Minister, our dear Prime Minister, chose to get somebody quite unrelated to answer the question. Is that the essential problem?
Yeah, you are very right there. And the thing is, this question is related to the previous session that was held in Parliament last week, because when the army personnel had been notified that they got to withdraw, this question was raised by Mr. Dinesh Gunawardena, and at that time the leader of the House, Honorable Lakshman Kiriyalla, was present, and he asked for time to answer this question. Then he got his time, he got back into Parliament, and his answer was that that was a previous decision, but the new situation was that the military would not be withdrawn. So the question yesterday, when I went into detail, had been based on his answer, which was given on the previous session. That's why Mr. Dinesh Gunawardena had questioned the Prime Minister as to why it had been, the withdrawal had been reactivated. At that time, the answer which the Prime Minister had given, he tried to play the fool of the situation, and like he tried to make fun of it. So
he trivialized.
Yes, that's what he had tried to do, and he had asked General Sarath Fonseca to reply. And the thing is, the General Sarath Fonseca is the Minister for Rural Development, as far as I know. So I don't think anyone would have had a problem with Ruwan Wijewardena answering it. I don't think anyone would have had a problem with Sagar Ratnayaka answering it. But the thing is, these MPs this, why they opposed this, because they didn't want the minister in charge. Obviously, he's a retired general, that's a different thing, and he's a field marshal right now. And his answer was based on what Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa did during the war and what happened to him, and it was not an answer to the question. So this is how this erupted.
I'm going to interrupt him. I saw, as an observer of the TV, that he came with a prepared answer.
Exactly.
So this is all a fix. Perhaps the Prime Minister should become a script writer at the Capital Maharaja Group. I don't know whether our HR will offer him the job, though.
I think if Thomas Erskine May was living, he would have written another episode for Parliament.
Just leaving it, dear Prime Minister.
For procedures. Because he is dead now, he must be twisting in his grave.
Indeed.
Yeah.
He's dancing, he's doing all sorts of dances.
Yes.
The thing is, though, technically speaking, the Prime Minister does have the prerogative is with them to let whoever wants, they can choose who they want to answer the question. It's only
that is not.
Is that
not
wrong?
True? No, that's wrong.
Right.
Because you take the itinerary.
Yeah.
It is delivered to you a couple of weeks before the sitting.
Right.
It states who asked the question, and then who will be answering the question.
Right.
So obviously, if the Prime Minister is unavailable in Parliament, the leader of the House can answer the question.
Right.
But or the relevant minister. But it has never been a practice for a minister who does not have any connection with the line ministry to answer a question of that sort, because then there is no responsibility.
And no person greater than Ranil Wickremesinghe should understand the established procedures in Parliament. He's one of the most senior.
Very appropriate thing for us.
Yeah.
Now Parliament does not work with statutory operations, very much.
Right.
Parliament operates with, precedences and what the rulings of the tradition, precedences, and the rulings given by the speakers.
Yeah.
According to Erskine May also, it is the same thing. He has emphasized very clearly, adequately that situation. But this type of precedences, when they go into history, I don't know how they will be observed.
I'm dying to bring Mr. Hettiarach into this, but before that I'm going to ask you, do you think the Prime Minister has taken leave of his senses this time round that he's entered Parliament?
The response...
Because we have the same... He hit Kiriella on the shoulder and said, shut up and listen to this. He told another MP that he knows English, you joined it from our party, you sit down and wait. And then he tried his luck with Vasudeva Nanakara. I think he called him a dried up old pumpkin. This is all very unparliamentary, and it's more unparliamentary coming out of the vocal cords of the dear Prime Minister, who's got so much of a vat of experience.
There is no doubt that our Prime Minister is a very seasoned parliamentarian. He has gone through the mill, being the leader of the opposition for so many years. So there is absolutely no question of his knowledge about the parliamentary procedures.
Yeah.
So this type of thing happening can only give the sort of impression that this is some kind of a deviatory tactic that he is deliberately adopting for some obvious reason known to him. Otherwise, he is senior enough. He's strong, responsible enough to know which is correct and which is wrong.
That's true. Now then, I want to say this. One of the viewers is saying that they agree that it was a fix. The Prime Minister deflecting the answer to come from Sarat Fonseca, who had a prepared text, and so on. Unless he was pretty good at writing it very quickly, which I don't think Field Marshal is. No disrespect, but yes, it was a fix. But equally, Dilu, don't you think that Dinesh and Bandula and so on, asking these questions, they're wholly unnecessary, and it creates a sort of an ambience of distrust in Parliament. Well, why discuss the security arrangements with the former president?
No, I don't think it's unnecessary because not only Mr. Dinesh Gunawardena but any MP is entitled to ask the Prime Minister or any question.
Yeah.
And they are also entitled to receive an answer. So, when it comes to former President's security, obviously the joint opposition, he works with us, he's one of our MPs right now, though he was the former president, and as everyone knows, he is also under certain amount of security threat. So I don't think there is any issue because anyone should have the right to ask any question and get a proper answer for it.
But that's the point, isn't it? It was pointed out very clearly by the Defence Ministry that in peace times it is not appropriate for the military to be used for these sort of security operations, and a decision was taken therefore that it is not a withdrawal of the former president's security detail, but it is merely an exchange
I have to,
between another elite trained force.
Yeah, that is not correct to a certain extent because the only issue that we are raising and we are requesting the army to be present is because these commando officers had undergone a special VIP training in India and many other countries, which the STF has not undergone. And Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa, being the president who was totally responsible for ending the war, and in other terms for ending Prabhakaran's life, we feel that he is under a certain amount of threat. Obviously there is no terrorist activity going on right now, but we saw there were suicide jackets found and there is activity going on, and the LTT was known as the most dangerous terrorist group, even beating Al-Qaeda. So the best example is Honorable Ranasinghe Premadasa. He was killed on May 1st on the street by the LTT, and terrorist activities are not on, but you still find particles of it. So the request was to keep the army on, and as wise, why was the army held to this extent with former president? Why did they have to withdraw it on the 2nd of May? Was it because the May Day rally at Kiranapura was because it was a tremendous success? Is that the reason? Why 2nd of May? Why not the 8th of January? But we are not trying to blame anyone. But this issue was not because of the security being withdrawn. It was the reason was the question not being answered.
So it
was not, this action was not, this issue was not requesting them to give the security back. It was just asking for a proper answer.
Clarification. On that note, we'll go for a quick break. Do stay tuned to Newsline. When we come back, we'll join Rona Hettiarachchi, Dilum Amanagama and Rusipala Tenakun to throw some light on all these May Day rallies. Stay tuned.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukutali.
This is Newsline. Good morning again and welcome back. We've got Rona Hettiarachchi, Dilum Amanagama and Rusipala Tenakun. Mr. Hettiarachchi, have the people ignored the March the 12th movement, the quest to elect fit and proper, sober, liberal-minded representatives to sit in Parliament? Have they forgotten?
No, I don't think so, but I wish to comment on what Mr. Amanagama also said, I mean especially in the parliamentary incidents. I think the parliamentarian as a people's representative, they should have right to answer questions and also get the proper answer. And we also notice as citizens of the country that the way the parliamentarians answering the questions is a quite big issue. I think the issue also came with as a result of that. I mean, not only this parliament, even in the previous parliament, we noticed that the behavior of the parliament and the way they treat their own brothers and sisters in the parliament. So this is really bad. I mean, we feel bad as a citizens of the country because we are the one who select the parliamentarians. So I think the citizens of the country, they will analyze this situation in the future, because now we can't say that the people did not consider the Maastricht criteria. Even the political parties, we notice that they also seriously consider, but when it's come to the practice, so that is the issue. I mean, with this, the existing political culture, people also doesn't have the options. So they have to vote for the major parties, and always they have to vote for the existing parliamentarians, because as Susiri also mentioned, now if the political party leaders fail to select the proper people as their candidate, these innocent people, they don't have choice. So
good, that's a very good point actually, and I've got a viewer who's sending me this suggestion, and he suggests that we contact the new IGP, because he says, like the military police, we will now need a parliamentary police arm. IGP Pujit Jasunda, there's one for you, the parliamentary police. But how astonishing is it that the Prime Minister can be so flippant in his attitude, and it's almost as though he's giving a reverse V sign to the people who elected him and gave him not quite a majority but near enough. What can the people do? What can the people do, Mr. Etiarachi?
I think the people in the upcoming, because we don't have the recalling system in the country, unfortunately. Like Scandinavian countries, they have the recalling system.
Oh,
so people has to wait for the next elections. So, but unfortunately, next local election is also postponing now. In more than 2 years. Some areas they are more than 4 years, especially Batticaloa, Jaffna, and Vaunia. So this is an unfortunate situation, and also. The upcoming local elections, there is no choice to voters. This is the list system. So I don't know what people can do. Again, the responsibility will goes to the party leaders. Exactly. But parliamentary elections, if it is not changed within the given time, people definitely will. We as a Maastricht movement, we lobby the people, we educate the people. Definitely, the voters will consider these parliamentarians for the upcoming elections.
Jerome, how do you feel about being part of a parliament that has been so sort of dived into the depths of depravity? Actually, it's astonishing. I've got no words to describe this.
Yeah, I know. As the look of it, it's that. I agree with you, but I wouldn't go to that extent, because if you take the whole, I know, coming into physical contact in Parliament is not done in any way.
Yeah.
We agree with you totally. But the thing is, as human beings, okay, all the parliamentarians are human beings.
Yeah.
There is a certain percentage that you can take. Now,
so this tolerance,
the certain area that you can tolerate, and then you blow after that point. So now, as you said, it has to start from the top. Okay, these parliamentarians who got involved in this incident, the two parliamentarians, as far as I know, they are in for the first time. This is their first term. I'm here for my second. I'm on my second term. But if the PM starts acting in such a manner, then I'm not trying to say that the speaker is like that, but as an example, if the speaker started acting in a funny manner, then the whole house would go bonkers. So as I said, when the PM starts answering a question from the stand which is taking, then it goes to the bottom, and this is how it ends. So what I feel is, it is not this one incident. As my good friend said, maybe there were parts of this in the previous parliament as well. So someone has to look into all this, put this right. We are talking about a code of conduct. It's been prepared. But I was just going through it yesterday because I was on some other program. I was at CSN last night. So one of the key factors. In the code of conduct, it says you got to respect each and every other member.
Yeah.
You must not disrespect anyone. All this triggers out when you try to disrespect someone in your speech or in your answer. So I think if there is some sort of system where everyone could respect everyone, because everyone has been voted in. Maybe some members got in on the list, that's a very few number. But since everyone has been voted in, if everyone can respect the people's vote and answer their question, treat them in a proper manner, not just try to crush them and trample them and put them against the wall. I think it might help to put this right.
If you can't respect your own members, own parliamentarians, you can't respect your voters.
Very right.
Very true. A message from a viewer. Can Mr. Amanugama clarify who should decide on security policy? Is it the National Security Council or Dinesh Vasu Vimal trio? Doesn't he know the decision was made many weeks ago and it was public knowledge? Is it wrong for a military expert, for an expert military man in matters to answer a question raised by an MP who is clueless on security matters, giving a false perception of a threat?
No, that is, I don't agree with, I'll answer that question. First of all, the Security Council had not announced that it had decided to withdraw the security. As I told you, if you can go into the previous week's sitting, the leader of the House, in the absence of the Prime Minister, he gave a very specific answer saying that the idea which was taken, the decision which was taken to withdraw the military security of former president has been changed, and he took the responsibility. Honorable Mahindananda Arudgamage questioned him at that time whether you would go back on your word. He guaranteed that it was not going to happen. The Security Council has the right to decide. General Fonseca has the right to speak on a security issue, but where they went wrong is the question was not answered by the correct person. The questionnaire didn't get the right answer, plus the question was, why did you go back on your decision which you made on the previous sitting? So I think anyone has the right. General Fonseca has all the right to talk about a security situation, but if you go into his speech, it was nothing about the security situation. It was about what he had to do about the war, and that Mahinda Rajapaksa did not have anything to do with the victory. And he went to the extent to say that former Defence Secretary Gotabe Rajapaksa fixed his own bomb on his vehicle at Pithalahandi. So I don't think any of this this is not part of the answer. This is a part of this is how it was proved.
Talking about, thank you for that, Dilum. And very quickly as we come to the end, talk about relevance. How relevant are these crowds at May Day rallies? As a trade unionist, ask you.
Doesn't indicate anything. It is a pity that some of the political leaders who have been very elated about the crowds that they have been able to muster for these rallies. I would like to say, Faraz, categorically, this mustering of the crowds is your ability to organize people and bring them. If you put the numbers together, all these three rallies, even one large electorate like the Kadwal electorate, if you see the number of voters and the number of people who participated in these May Day rallies, I mean the number of voters in the electorate will outnumber all three. So this organizing people and bringing them, tell me one person who hired his own bus or group and then came for this May Day. This is a show.
It was a paid
show. Paid show at the expense of the workers and just a show of strength. Of course, I don't blame the parties. It has been the practice. It is also a matter for the trade union movement in this country to seriously consider whether they should allow this state of affairs to continue in this form.
Dilum, you're looking forward to being enlightened on the contents of that report today?
Yes, definitely. We are looking forward to, of course, obviously everyone knows what happened. So we are looking forward to what action will be taken on this incident.
And also by the Speaker?
Sorry,
by the
speaker and also this committee that was appointed. And we also hope that the House committee will go into detail and they have to work out some system and put the parliamentary system right. Okay, it's on paper, but it's all about the attitude of the members, the ministers, the prime minister, the speaker. It's about how you look at the whole thing. As you said, there are enough and more problems in the country to discuss about. So the whole session had to be cancelled because one question was not answered properly.
And it's about 6 million rupees a day.
Yeah, obviously. So
can I just add one thing?
Very quickly, because we got a few seconds.
Parliaments work not on rules and regulations but on self-regulation.
correct.
Indeed. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Rusri Pilot Tenakun, Dilum Amnugama and Rona Jarachi. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching Newsline. We hope you enjoyed the program and we look forward to seeing you same time, same place tomorrow. Take care and God bless.